In numbers 5 through 7, we're going to sketch in radians before we convert it into degrees. So let's find where 210 degrees is. Okay, so 210 degrees is going to be right here, a 30-degree drop down from the x-axis, so right around to this position. This is in quadrant 3, written in Roman numerals. All right, now let's convert this into radians. So a couple of different ways we can do it. Some of you just may have memorized this, and so I'm going to count by sixes: 1 over 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6, 7 over 6. So I know this is 7 pi over 6, but what if you didn't have that memorized? What else could you do to achieve that same answer? Well, we could take 210 degrees. Now to convert it into radians, I want degrees to also go on the bottom, so 180 with a pi on top. Grabbing your calculator, and we can take 210 divided by 180, hit the math key, enter, enter, gives us 7 over 6, and that's how we can get 7 pi over 6. Let's look right now at number 2. Now, number 2 is a negative 300. So let's just think about this really quick. Negative 300. All right, so I'm going to go, I recognize that 300 is one of the 30s because 30 is divisible by 3. So it divides 30 divided by 3 is 10. So I'm going to go backwards 10, counting by these 30-degree increments, also equivalent to an interior angle as 1 pi over 6. So I have 1 going backwards because it's negative, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, I'm going over and counting in my mind by radians, but I don't know why I was doing that because I needed to go by 30. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and here we go, 30. So right up to this point right here, this would be your negative 300. So this lands in quadrant number 1. And as a radian measurement, what is 300 degrees equivalent to? Well, let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So negative 10 pi over 6, which reduces to negative 5 pi over 3. All right, let's look here at 495. Now, I recognize that 495 is greater than 360. Let's take 495 and subtract 360 to get 135. So I need to go 1 time it's positive all the way around plus an additional 135. 135 I know is a 45 degrees, so it's right here. That lands in quadrant number 2. And now let's convert this into, so I know that this really quick, a couple ways we can do this. I know that this is 1 full revolution plus an additional 135. So I could do 1 full revolution plus, we're counting here by 4s, 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, plus 3 pi over 4. This is one way to do this right now. All right, so I'm going to take this times 4 and times 4. 8 pi over 4 plus 3 pi over 4 would give us 11 pi over 4. So that's one way we could do it. Let's talk about other ways we could still achieve this. I could count, so starting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 pi over 4 is another way I could have counted it. Or some of you may just prefer to do a quick conversion from degrees into radians. So times pi over 180 degrees. And I'm taking 495 divided by 180, turning it back into a fraction, and we have the 11 pi over 4. 3 different ways to achieve the exact same answer. All right, now 284 is not one of those memorized 30-degree interiors or 45. So let's figure out, where is 284? Now I know that this is 90, this is 180, and this is 270. So it's slightly past 270, so somewhere right in here. So that lands in quadrant number 4. And now in terms of radians, I'm going to use this type of conversion to go back into radians. So 284, let's take 284 times pi over 180. 284 divided by 180, hitting math, enter, enter, and we get 71 pi over 45. 71 pi over 45. All right, let's move on. Now we're going to do the reverse. Now I'm given radians, and I need to convert back into. So, all right, it's positive and it's by 6s. These are the ones we've memorized. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is in quadrant number 2. In terms of degrees, I'm going to count by 30. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 150 degrees. Now we have a negative. So I'm going to go backwards and notice that the denominator is 4. So here's 1, 2, 3. So here's where negative 3 pi over 4 is. That's in quadrant number 3. In terms of degrees, I know that this particular answer, so we're going to go back. What is 3 pi over 4? Well, it's going to go 45, 45, and 45. So 3 groups of 45 would be 135, and it is reversed. Now let's go with 10 pi over 3. Now I need to change that denominator 3 into either a 2 or a 4, a 6 or a 4. Well, it's easier to turn it into a 6. So I have 20 pi over 6. Let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1 revolution is 12. 2 revolutions would be 24, but I don't want 24, I want 20. So let's back it up. Here's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it's right here. So we're going to go 1 time around and then end here at 20 pi over 6. That's in quadrant number 3. Now let's turn this into degrees. So I have 10 pi over 3, and let's turn it into degrees. The pi's need to be on opposites, so one's up top, one's down low, so that they can, you may want to say cancel out, but really they're going to simplify it into 1. And so now I'm going to grab a calculator when I multiply here and convert it from radians to degrees. I'm going to take 10 times 180, get an answer divided by 3, and we have a degrees of 600. Degrees of 600. All right, -3. A lot of students go, is that degrees? Is this radians? If we don't see a degree mark, it is in terms of radians. Note that 3, well, this is pi, right? In terms of radians, this is pi. And we know pi is approximately 3.14. So if it was a positive 3, I'd go just barely to half of the circle. I don't want to go all the way because this is 3.14. Well, it's a negative, so we're going to reverse it, and it's going to be just before it hits that horizontal axis. So it is in quadrant number 3. And then now in terms of degrees, how do we convert this? Let me grab. So I'm going to forget about the negative sign now. I'll add that at the very end. So I know that negative sign will be accounted for at the very end. This is in radians. So to switch to degrees, think if there was a pi here, because the pi is within this, embedded within this value. So if the pi is on top, because it's in radians, then the pi has to be on the bottom. So on my calculator, I'm going to take right now 3 times pi. Oops, sorry, my fault. 3 times 180 and then divide it by pi. Don't type in 3.14. Use the actual symbol for pi. And now let's round this here. And I don't know, maybe we'll round it to the nearest hundredth. So negative 171.89. 171.89. All right, let's look right now at 9 through 14.